personality? Of course they do. It's important to study and learn personality adjectives because we need to know how to explain or describe people. Describing objects and people is easier with the proper vocabulary. We often use adverbs so, very, really, and quite to emphasize adjectives. Now, at the earliest stages of English, when you learn an adjective, let's use the word cold. It's cold outside. That's pretty simple, right? Simple English. But before I learn more words, there's actually a step that we take by adding and intensifying adverb to help us with the word cold. So I can say it's cold outside. I can move up one step and I can say it's so cold outside. I can say it's very cold outside. It's really cold outside. By the way, all of these words go together. These are called collocations. How do people talk? How do people refer to a certain subject? And in this case, we have certain word combinations that are much more common than others. So, if we start with cold, and then we go to so cold, very cold, quite cold, really cold, we need to learn more vocabulary so that we don't have to use those two words for the same subject. What is it, dear? Look, a lot of people do that. They say, it's very, 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 very. Yes? Probably not a good idea. If you use very more than once, you need to learn more vocabulary. So if it were me and I wanted to say it's very cold outside, I might use those two words. Very to emphasize it's very cold. Or I might say it's chilly outside. It's freezing outside. You see how I learned a new word, a new adjective, and this is one of the important parts of learning language. Take the time to learn vocabulary. You will often say more with less. Trust me on this one. Okay, so often we use a prefix to create the opposite meaning of a word. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Positive personality adjective examples. Can you find the adjectives? I like my best friend. Best. Best is an adjective. It's an irregular adjective. Good, better, best, right? I like my best friend because she is always so positive. My wife Larissa is my best friend, by the way. He is a creative person in his new job. Creative. She is always frank when she shares her opinion. Now, Frank could be a man's name, but my wife is not a man for sure. So, Frank, if you'll notice, is not capitalized, right? So, she is always frank. It means very direct and sometimes quite serious. And of course, whoever we're talking about, I appreciate people like that. Now, it is a friendly cat. Simon is always close to me. By the way, our cat's name is Simon. Friendly is your adjective. He is funny, right? He is so funny. I really like his movies. If I didn't put intensifying adverbs in there like so and really, I could say, he is funny. I like his movies. Very direct, very simple, right? Or to emphasize, he is so funny. Or I really like his movies. She is very entertaining. I always enjoy her performances. Here in this case, I'm using always, an adverb, and very to help us explain or describe. It's really active today. My cat is running everywhere. And my cat, our cat, does that. Negative personality adjectives. Let's talk about those. Can you find them? Well, my neighbor is always acting in a negative way. Negative, it's an adjective, right? He was uncreative in his previous job. So creative is positive. If we put un, that's a negative prefix. We put that before creative. He was uncreative, you see? She is shy when talking about her family. Shy is an adjective. The neighbor's dog is so unfriendly. I use that one again. He is always so uninteresting. He sleeps the entire day. It's not me for sure. She is often vague about her last job. Vague, not describing. She doesn't describe or tell us everything because she has lots of secrets. There are many words used to describe personalities. Remember that we can emphasize words when a person's voice is elevated, right? If I said, it's cold outside, isn't it? Or I could say, it's cold outside, isn't it? Hey, it's cold outside. You see the difference in those three statements, same words, but the difference is how I use my voice, how I brought up my intonation. We can also make statements stronger by speaking word for word without contractions. I want to thank you for joining me today. Have fun with English.